All right, we are recording. Yes, I see the file, and it's Going Medieval Queues provided by Tinsley PR for the Irregular Corporation. It did something very weird. The game just did something very weird. It took a very long time to launch initially, and then it said that, oh, you didn't have an internet connection, which I do, so we couldn't send in the bug report, the crash report. And then it was just like hanging on that screen. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like it was up. It was like on this screen and just like faded out. Closed it, tried to relaunch it, and it just kept hanging at the loading screen. So I verified the files. That didn't supposedly accomplish anything because it said that everything verified. But I did one other thing that shouldn't be it, but it might not have liked. Hang on, just a second. I'm trying to put a cable out of the way. There. Um. So what I normally do when I'm recording is I use the USB audio interface to here, let me get loading. To uh, drive the headphones, and I said, all right, let me try going to the amp. That fortunately I now can. I had to replace my old amp; it was having some issues. Um, but previously, that older amp had issues such that I need to have the headphone jack removed on it. Some amps, the headphone jack has a switch in there, and so when it's activated, it cuts off sending anything to speakers, which makes plenty of sense. It really does to do that. But on the old one, it was intermittently cutting out the speakers without anything in there. And it's easier to just use the USB interface. But nope, put it back there. Now it launched up fine. I have no idea. I really don't. Especially since nothing has changed since last week. So I mean, the computer hasn't even restarted. So it's like I really have no clue what it thinks was a problem. All right, so what am I doing here? And boy, do I've got lots of news. I'm just looking over it now. Yeah, I think I'll start with that one. So one thing I saw is definitely unusual. Well, as an A, I was not expecting this one, and how many people were, and why are they never using this section? Anyway, so Canon, the company that, well, they make a lot of stuff, but printers and cameras, I think most people would be familiar with them for. Apparently, they are getting into. That's why I have these things to deal with. Apparently, they are getting into the semiconductor business, or they already have been. I'm not entirely sure on that one. And did I turn this off? Yes, I did. Okay, so they're just free to use it if they wish. Um, how are these things? Why is it stunted? Well, I mean, is it just because it's winter? Anyway, Canon has decided to start competing with ASML, which is the company in the Netherlands. Pretty sure that's what I saw. That makes the photolithography systems, uh, machines that like TSMC, Samsung, and such would use. Well, they make the extreme ultraviolet ones, so it's kind of a big deal. That because Canon is saying, hey, we can get extreme ultraviolet level geometries in there, so they can get down to those small nanometer sizes, but with a nano imprinting system. Bloomberg had the thing on it, and they were saying that apparently even Canon admits, yeah, it's slower than EUV, but we can make these machines at a tenth the cost. That's very significant. Like that literally is, well, no, it's at a tenth the energy usage of EUV, but that they could price them one digit less, which is an order of magnitude. Which might not necessarily be 10 times less, but it still is a very significant achievement there. Ah, that's what people do. So yeah, I mean, it will be interesting to see what, if anything, really comes of that. I'm gonna get these things going. No reason not to. Um, Yeah, I mean, it's hard to predict what may happen from that. Um, nope, you take care of that. My guess, however, my best guess, optimistic guess, is this technology as an alternative will allow various other companies, because yes, it's slower, but that lower cost may allow to help with constraints. No, I'm trying to think. I can't think of the correct term. But basically, it may help with supply issues, especially if, because in theory it would be TSMC and Samsung that would definitely try to buy these things up because it can be used to augment their business. But I wonder if you might also see something like Global Foundries buy any, or other non-bleeding edge foundries. If you might see some of them buying them, so that then they can have something at that size, but it's smaller. But yeah, it's no, not small. It's slower. Um, but it still could be, very very valuable to them. So yeah, I do think it'll be very interesting. And there was also mention about like enabling TSMC and Samsung to do smaller lots, which I don't know how much that'll matter. For some companies, yes, but not for like AMD or Intel. Well, certainly not Intel, AMD or Nvidia. Because if AMD and Nvidia want to make smaller lots, that would be for like, hey, we're doing engineering samples. I would think that they would both want those engineering samples to be on the method that would ultimately be used to manufacture, so that way any quirks to the manufacturing method they can be dealing with sooner. Um, like, that does just make some sense to me that they would want to do that. Uh, Wait a minute. Oh, okay. So I just realized that these are still off, but it is also some of these I need to change. Yeah, some of these have gotten really good. Okay, a lot of those are looking correct now. Man, that shouldn't be 3, that should be a 4. So those should be 4. That is all looking more correct. Although, you know what? Hang on. There. Hang on though, let me just check. Did I have anything? Yeah, so nothing more except that it's nano imprinting, which apparently just means that it stamps the circuitry onto the wafers. So I wanted to quickly see audio levels in OBS. Although, hang on. Huh. That's a little bit of a problem. Just a second. Ah, that's why. Hopefully this will start working. It wasn't recording the game audio. Okay, there we go. I don't have OBS set typically to use default for the audio output, but I need to set it because it was set to use the audio interface, and I'm using the standard motherboard at the moment. Anyway, the motherboard audio output. But my brain is turning off. But yeah, so it's like literally stamping the circuitry onto the silicon wafer, which there's precedence for that because that's how CDs, DVDs, and Blu-rays are. Well, I'm pretty sure Blu-rays are actually manufactured. That they have etched the pattern that holds the data onto glass, I believe it is, and that's what is then imprinted onto the plastic. And then you have the reflective layer or other plastic layers put on top, depending on if it's a multi-layer disc, which CDs are single layer, although I do have some that are actually dual layer. One layer is a DVD. DVDs are dual layer, or at least can be. Not all DVDs originally were. I don't know if there's ever been well, Blu-ray I think has always, from the start, had the double layer support. What is up with Finn here? Okay, he started moving. But yeah, because it's about 25 gig per layer for Blu-ray, and I think that you had the 50 gig ones from the beginning. So a single layer would be 25 gig. Oh, good. That all finished. So, no, not the blocks. There. This is actually going to be the most efficient. That gives me 4 sets of shelves versus 3. Can I actually do that? Oh, okay, well, will let me. Of course, feature sizes for Blu-ray is still not on the same scale as the as chip manufacturing, so I'm sure that is part of the reason why those are able to be mass-produced. There. Okay. And because of copying, that should also have everything, like the selection stuff be the same. Yeah. Alright. Alright, so other thing I have, and I want to talk about the AMD thing, the AMD driver thing, but then I will get to the Steam Deck OLED stuff that I just figured can be last. So, AnandTech apparently asked AMD and did get a positive response, an affirmative response about, well, no, a positive response, not exactly affirmative. Anyway, a positive response from AMD concerning their drivers going forward. Excuse me. The graphics drivers specifically. That, in September, people noticed that AMD was actually using different driver packages, were offering different driver packages for Polaris and Vega, basically GCN architectures and the RDNA architectures. And indeed, they are separate branches now. I don't remember what the version numbering is, but it's like 23.19 for those and 23.20 or something for RDNA, something like that. And apparently AnandTech asked about this and was told that, yeah, we are, they're not end of life. Well, they're not legacy. They have not gone to legacy, this hardware, but they are slowing some things down. I think packaged meals just last longer. So it's like, they will be getting... It was interesting, especially because I saw AnandTech clearly stated, AMD said this is not legacy. They are still going to get regular updates. Polaris and Vega GPUs, they are still going to get regular updates, but don't really expect to have all the latest and greatest features and new performance updates. It'll be security stuff, but there will still be regular updates. Whereas a legacy end-of-life product would be they're not getting anything but security updates. So that is an important distinction. And I saw at least one place saying, well, they've set it to legacy. You're only getting security updates. It's not just like, well, no, if they're saying, and from what I can tell, Anantech is the source for this news. And it's like, nope, it's still going to be regular updates. It's like, yeah, then why are people ignoring that? Anyway, let me just look at this. Okay, yeah, and it's, as I did say, that they've branched out the two, starting back in September. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of as simple as that. It has been the case for a little bit. Now, I'm going to try something. Although, hey, let me get rid of all those. There. I want to see what it'll say if I just extend this forward. Like, will it still be awful? Or might I get it to be a little bit better? Because it would be nice if they weren't awful. Anyway. This also follows the news, which I didn't cover. Because this was so specifically Linux, I just wasn't too concerned. But AMD's open source Vulkan driver for Linux, I don't remember what that specifically is called. It might just be like AMD Vulkan. AMD has already removed the support for Polaris and Vega in that. But you don't need to worry about that too much because there's the open source, the community maintained RADV driver that's Mesa driver specifically. That I want to say is like actually a lot of people, like Phoronix will say, yeah, it's better. So it's, this isn't that big a loss. But yeah, so it's a little complicated. But that is the... What the hell? What are you doing? So you literally came, hit it with a hammer once, and then left. Oy. Anyway, but yeah, so it's like, this is something that... Because that happened a little bit ago, the removing from the AMD drivers, AMD Linux drivers, but the community drivers are still there. They're still maintained, and I would not be surprised if the community makes sure that they continue to be supported in there for quite a while. Hey, Polaris is still very popular. Like, there's a lot of people that still enjoy using it, and Vega's also in a weird spot because, like, a lot of laptops, a lot of mobile GPUs use a Vega integrated GPU. That actually just occurred to me. So 36 down here, 33. So it's actually getting colder. In theory, if I went down another level, I could maybe keep producing the ice all the time. Although it is still very cold out here, so I guess that's probably not going to be the case. But it's spring now, so things will be improving. We'll be warming up. Anyway, yeah, so I don't really... Oh, yeah, and actually the Steam Deck, I can even use that as the transition. That I'm pretty sure does... I'm pretty sure that it's Zen 2 APUs. I think that would be using Vega. I could be wrong. I'm just trying to go by memory. But yeah, so Valve announced the Steam Deck OLED. So it is a refresh to the Steam Deck. Okay, let's... Uninspiring. Alright. I'll take that. I will take that. So. Oh wait, hang on. Let me... do that. Deconstruct. Once those are gone, I will then... Oh, you know what that is? That is true. Okay. Gonna get rid of these. That could get interesting right here. Yeah, because it's now lost access. No. Cancel. There. There. So yes. The Steam Deck to date has been using a 7-inch LCD screen. But now... Wait, no, that's not right. Wait, is this it? Yeah, that's it. Alright. But Valve has decided to come up with a new version that will use an OLED screen, which will have various benefits to it. It is also going to be an HDR screen. It will now run at 90. Well, it will have a refresh rate of up to 90 hertz, so it, variable refresh rate kind of thing, but up to 90 instead of 60, like the LCD. Peak brightness of 1000 nits. 110% of P3 coverage. That's the, DCI P3. There. Now I can do that. It'll get there. Just gonna do this to conserve on resources. I think, yeah, so that's all good. Alright, the OLED screen will apparently also allow to save on power. But they also threw in a bigger battery, which it also helps. The OLED screen is 7.4 inches instead of 7 inches, so it's a little bit larger. Still the same 1280 by 800 resolution. But I'm sure plenty of people will be happy to just have the have it be OLED. I'll be honest, personally, I don't know how much I'd care. I mean, it's nice. It's the new technology. It does have various benefits, but at the same time, LCD works. LCD is cheap. I mean, it's... So I don't know how much we need to obsess over it. But they, in addition to that, have also a refreshed version of the APU, which is still Zen 2, still the same number of cores, the same number of GPU compute units in there. All that is the same. Why is this window open? It's winter. Why is... I don't know. These two should have been closed. Anyway, are they closed over here? Yes, they are. Um, but yeah, so it's basically the same APU from what they were describing, but from 7 nanometer, it's a 6 nanometer part, so it should be more efficient. All the other specs were the same. Memory has been bumped up from 5500 mega transfers per second to 6400 mega transfers per second. And also a bigger battery. So instead of 40 watt hours, it's a 50 watt hour battery. There. So that's all nice. They were saying what? Instead of 2 to 8 hours, it should be 3 to 12 hours you can expect, depending on the game. But, yeah, it's pretty neat that they are doing this. I know, this, like, so doesn't matter, but I still want to do it. Wait, no, not that. There. The LCD models, the 256 gigs is apparently still going to be produced. But the 64 gig and 512 gig will not be. Those are going to basically just sell out the current stock. Okay, so that's what's going to happen with those. But all the LCD versions got price drops, including that. Hang on, I missed that one. Including the 256 gig, which will basically now just be the lowest tier Steam Deck. While the OLED versions will have a 512 gig and 1 terabyte. And all of them will be available. Both of the OLED versions and a special limited edition will be available starting November 16th. Yes, November 16th. You see, the 256 gig is with LCD is going to be $400. The 512 will be $550. The 1 terabyte will be $650. But it's also going to be a limited edition version of the 1 terabyte with a smoky translucent colorway. Basically, the plastic is going to be smoky color, but light will be able to go through instead of being opaque. It'll be priced at $679. But Valve is saying it is highly limited, and also because of that, it will only be available in the United States and Canada. So if that's what you want, make sure you're quick on that day. And at one of the 2 sites that Valve had up, it was saying that these are, if there is sufficient interest, they will look into doing additional colorways. We'll see what that actually ends up coming to be. It might mean nothing, it might mean a lot. Personally, I don't know how much I care. I mean, the Steam Deck is nice, don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't know if I would ever really want to buy one. That's not the gaming experience I personally would want. But we'll also see, because it's... Oh, yeah, here. I was like, hopefully before the end of the month, the Framework 16 laptop I ordered will finally be like, hey, you can now pay us and it'll ship. I did not realize it would be this long between putting down the deposit, the $100 deposit, and the potentially shipping, but that's fine. It's okay. It's not been super inconvenient for me since I could borrow a laptop for work. But we'll see how that is. Since, I mean, that would be a lot more powerful than any Steam Deck, but it still is just, will I potentially use that for, anything, for gaming? Because I know I've talked about it before, that it might make sense to do some gaming on that, including for reviews. I just don't know, because it should be better game performance than the desktop. I love my desktop, don't get me wrong. It's awesome. And I have plans for it into the future. Well into the future. But it also might be more comfortable to game on than the test system, since that I have to have the keyboard resting on my lap, and the mouse, like, I have to stretch my arm out to have it on a flat surface, and then I need to look up at the television. I mean, I've gamed that way before, like for actual reviews, but it's like it's not the most comfortable. But a laptop, because in theory I can go other places, might be able to set something up more comfortably. We'll see. We'll see. It might work, it might not. Yeah, so this is good. But I do wonder if I manage to get some... No, decorative banners, if I can use that to improve the stuff. Okay, how many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So that's... there. Now true, that will also not be an OLED screen on the Framework 16, but it should still be a good LCD and a big one at 16 inches versus 7.4 inches. There's a reason I said the 4, it just wasn't a very good reason. Yeah. I'm not really sure what more I got to say. Oh, there's a lot of animals just dead. And a lot of people are just ignoring them. Get that away from the dog. I mean, the stuff that's out here is one thing, but it's like, no, my traps killed that. I want it. The heck? They're spreading. And I don't really want them to, so there. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to talk about, really. I think I did see one thing, maybe they're rumors, maybe they're not. Level kind of stuff for, come on, brain turnover. Like a super version, a refresh to the RTX 40 series from NVIDIA. But it sounded like that might be like well, yeah, it would be next year at this point. Which, I mean, that is kind of interesting. I kind of wonder about the refresh stuff with NVIDIA. Because, like, with the RTX 20 series, it made sense. Because the 20 series sucked for pricing. I mean, it was basically the same performance at the same price as the GTX 10 series. But it added in the ray tracing stuff and DLSS. It's like, okay, that's nice and all, but for basically every game that was available on the market, you were paying the same price to get the same level of performance, or you could pay more for more performance, but it was price to performance was the same. So with the super refresh, that was actually very significant because now you actually improved the price to performance ratio. But let me see then. I think the 30 series, yeah, what was it again that the 30 series that improved the price to performance, but 40 series was flat then? I'm not sure. I don't quite remember. And I do intend to be stopping because I'm running out of things to talk about. So I do wonder what it may achieve here. And, I'm just gonna do speechcraft 1, 5, 5, 16. There you are. Okay. Once they wake up, I'll have her talk to them. And that'll probably be where I stop. So yeah, it's great that, it's like they will be doing that, but at the same time, it is I do wonder how much of that is let's just do that and see what I can manage. I can give it a hell of a lot of barley. Wow. And that's not even half. Ooh. Anyway, and I can get rid of a lot of caps here as well. You know what? Get rid of the 2 sturdy ones as well, since I've got goods, which means I'm making them at that. Oh, and I can get more chickens. That actually would be nice, even though they are all males. I mean, that would have conveniently, because I shouldn't have any issue with food at the moment. Okay, I have a feeling this will be it. It's also worth noting, the fact that these can be sold indicates that they're not being worn. So it is, they are safe to sell. Boy, you owe me a lot. Alright, what else can I get? Well, yeah, that's true. No. There. Sure. Alright. Cool. I think that was probably pretty good. Yeah, and I know I've not been doing that. I've just been continuing with the thing. But yes, we're done here. There it goes. Yeah, so I'm a little curious about because NVIDIA doing the refresh, especially, when did the 40 series come out? Let me look this up. Okay. So it actually came out a year ago. So if that rumor is true about the refresh, about a super refresh, then that means that that's basically the next generation. So that might allow them to push off the 50 series for a while. Which I wonder, does that mean that it just needs that much more time? I don't know. But it is also, it's one of those, I can't be like, oh, are they pushing this off because I can't be like that, because, as I've said many times before, the bulk of gaming today is still rasterization, not ray tracing, and a mid-tier rasterization, a mid-tier card today for rasterization is like at least 4K capable, if not a true 4K card. So it's like the actual needs for the bulk of games and bulk of gamers today are satisfied. And they have been for actually like a couple generations at least. So, well, maybe not a couple. 30 series, yeah, I don't know about 20 series. Well, no, if you account for changes in resolution, that it's like a lot of people still at 1080 and then fewer at 1440, and the fewest are at 4K or above. You can genuinely argue that no, we are we are satisfied. We have what we need. It's just ray tracing, which is why I've said in this, and I've said in a few other places, I think that it's a little bit of a conspiracy, but it is kind of, but I also feel it's kind of accurate that ray tracing has been developed and is pushed in games because it gives a reason to have the ultra high end cards again. I mean, it's like if you can spend $400, $500 and all your gaming needs are satisfied for graphics performance, then how do you justify? Then how can any company justify a $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000, $1,100, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 card? Because they get that expensive, even more when you get into AIBs. So it's like if you, how do you justify that? Well, by coming up with something that even the high-end cards can struggle with. I mean, which does kind of make you, well, no. Ray tracing go to path tracing. The only problem there is that it's technically able to use the same hardware. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of a funny thing, which it'll also be, which still does make Intel entering the market interesting, because they can apply competition at lower prices, like the A770, is that what it's called? At like a $300 card is competing with AMD and Nvidia at more expensive cards. Like the A770 is actually a very strong card for where it is. It's mainly software, it's driver issues that they're still working out. So it will be interesting to see what Intel chooses to do with its next series, and will we see that? Will they use that to apply additional pressure to lower prices, or not? Because they could decide, hey, they're making all this money, why can't we? I don't know. Hopefully they do push it down, because for one thing, that'll help them carve out a part of the market. Like it would actually be good business for them, and it would help the market overall, because, I mean, yeah, I don't doubt that prices are inflated. Just because people realize that, hey, we can charge this much. And the thing is, I can't fault them, because if people are paying that, then I mean, it's working. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. But Intel entering the market at the time when ray tracing is a thing makes it kind of more interesting. With my point, well, my theory. It gets a bit more interesting there, because hey, it's they're coming in also needing to compete there. They can't just start at the bottom and work their way, start at rasterization, work their way up. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Hopefully next week Going Medieval will not be weird, or at least I won't need to. I really have no idea. I don't know. But it's also the drivers for the audio interface have some weird quirks to them. So, I mean, it works, so I can't complain. Oh, duh, I can mention that. I don't want to get into details, but I have finished. Right, I need to finish up some stuff like media selection for the review of the Talos Principle and the Road to Gehenna DLC. I did finish that. So I need to do some stuff today, but today, Friday for me. But hopefully this weekend I will be starting on Talos Principle 2. No idea how long that will take me to finish. Yeah, so hopefully I will get those reviews taken care of and like up so that they can be published before too long. But I don't know. There's plenty of things that can disrupt the schedule, so just that is what I'm working on here. All right. See you next time.